Coming up right here at Circle Debate Podcast, episode number 37, part 1 out of our 2-part episode, as we go ahead and discuss of our thoughts about Impact Genesis. 3 great matches that happened, that occurred, and the upcoming feuds that are coming up for Impact. And also we will discuss as well Hard to Kill for Impact coming up tomorrow night. Don't forget to tune in for that. Also AEW Dynamite Bash number 2 that we're going to go ahead and discuss. The main event, especially with Darby Allin versus Brian Cage, and much more of that. And also New Japan News, the road to the beginning. And then that's what Mr. Steamboat and I will discuss about. And also as well, we will give you pro wrestling news and more. So watch part 1 as episode 37 starts now. Welcome everyone to the Circle Debate Podcast, episode number 37. This is the host of Devious One, Ivan C. And I'm here alongside with my brothers, La Familia, the faction, the greatest faction here in SoCal, ladies and gentlemen. All right, members in SoCal, we dare you to challenge us. Once again, the Devious One, Ivan C. here alongside with my brothers from another mothers. That is the Mad Hatter, the All Hatter, the one that loves to dance. What's the feeling? So good. That's right. And that's courtesy for Super Nitro. And that is Mr. Steamboat, Mr. MGC Matthew Steamboat.
That's me. And me in the back is basically me at any convention. one of the first things I'm going to do after pandemic is I want to go dancing with Muslim dudes.
Okay.
Just me in the, Taken. I kind of get it when girls just want to go out and dance. That's kind of my mood now.
There you go. We'll have to wait and see on that one. And also, we have the one and only. He is one and only. Too sweet. That is Mr. CK1 himself, Chris Kennedy, wearing the front of
We're back, brother.
The band is back.
Good brothers.
Back.
Man.
Yeah.
And of course, give me a second, ladies and gentlemen.
Warm up. Yes.
To warm up. Let me get my microphone right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on.
I'm holding it up. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a multi-time recording artist,
Chris.
a graduate from Cal State Dominguez Hills, the 2018 LA Karaoke Champion. He lives 1,977,000 miles from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. The Master Disaster, the King of Sting, the man with the plan. Ladies and gentlemen, Money Mike Lopez.
You're damn right, boy.
Dun, 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 dun.
Man, I feel like dancing now. What's up with this?
This is the dancing podcast now.
Oh, wow.
All right, let's get this kicked off, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man. So, just very briefly, people that did not catch Impact Genesis this past week, that happened this past weekend, want to mention 3 incredible matches that occurred. One, the X-Cup Finals between Blake Christian and Ace Austin. Incredible match. If you have not seen it, I will recommend for you guys to YouTube that match or any other platforms. I would highly recommend it. And believe me, Blake Christian, if you guys are not really, do not really know him very well, not recognized by him, look it up on New Japan Strong Style. He competed against, a lot with Leo Rush, another one too as well. So, and he competed with Leo Rush in Gamer Championship Wrestling. So also watch, tune in for those matches.
Such a unique high flyer.
Very unique, definitely. And also Jazz, I thought she was retired, but I guess not. She had one more in her. But she, against Jordan Grace, she lost, but Jazz still put up a hell of a match. So I loved it. I enjoyed it. And also our other SoCal native, that is Willie Mack, Return of the Mac. That's right, as he actually competed against Moose for that TNA World Heavyweight Champion. But it looks like Moose, it was an I Quit match, by the way. Another great match. I love how they both rise, they rise to the occasion. If you did not see that, I will highly recommend it. And the future feud for that is basically Rich Swann telling Moose, say I quit and I'll give you a title shot for the Impact Heavyweight Champion. And he did. Moose say he quit. Willie Mack won the match. You just got to watch it. I will highly recommend for that, ladies and gentlemen. But let's move on. I want to go ahead and move on now with AEW Dynamite. That is the Bash 2. Okay, we already have seen part 1, part 2. Now, what a success of Bash 2. I loved it a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and start this off with the first match. That was it. Eddie Kingston versus Pac. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you, Mr. Steamboat. So you started off. Talk to me. What do you think about that match?
Everybody should keep in mind Pac is the former Dragon Gate champion. And, of course, I've been binge-watching Dragon Gate these past, week and a half. I stumbled across their gold mine. So I get to see Pac in his early days, beardless, a little bit skinnier. A
lot of it skinnier. If you go back watch PWG, he was a stick and noodle. It was really,
way different guy altogether. So you see him, like how far he's come here, being the Dragon Gate champion and now taking on Eddie Kingston. You get to see Pac work more like just more of his aggression. I love those kicks to the chest. That was probably like my favorite part.
All right. Do you agree with that, Mr. CK1?
Yeah, there's no way to really describe who Pac has evolved himself into. I say evolved because he, within a lifetime, has literally transformed his wrestling style from just a high-flying spot fest, big old spot monkey, to adding technical styles and pulling from his Japanese influences, his European style, to something that even, dare I say, the American crowd can be entertained by. His groundwork is equal to now his flying work, and that's absurd if you know how good either one of them are. His finisher, is I call it Rings of Saturn. What is it actually called? The Berserker or the Instigator or something?
Something like that, I think he called it. But
it began with a D.
The Devastator.
the death grip or death lock, something like that, right?
Something like that, yeah. But he implemented that move during his heel turn in WWE because everybody wanted the red arrow, and then he would go to the top to do it. He wouldn't do it. Then he would go to the submission and get booed out the building. It's just a beautiful character development.
The Brutalizer. That's what it was called.
Yeah, that's what it was called. Sorry, Saturn.
No,
sorry,
same
Bob.
problem. I couldn't remember either.
Yeah. Just this evil guy. He is literally the bastard. He's so good at that role. And if you know him, I don't know him personally, but I know people that do. He's a nice guy. His interviews, he's like really quiet, really smiley. So for him to morph into the bastard, like, you feel it, man. Like, I wouldn't want to wrestle Pac like ever. If you get a clean win over 3.
If you see that table for 3, he's nice.
Yeah, definitely. Table for 3 is a great show, by the way. Shout out to the network. Yeah, but I'm going to say this sentence, and it's going to apply to so many matches in AEW, but to have a clean win like that over Eddie Kingston, I appreciate that they're doing that. There's not a lot of protected wins. There's not a lot of DQs. There's not a lot of run-ins that end up in no contest. It was a clean submission win over Eddie Kingston. That feud technically might be over, unless you're planning on doing, obviously, like the Butcher and the Blade and Eddie versus Death Triangle, which probably has already happened.
Don't forget, Lance did the run-in at the end.
Yeah, and then they're doing Lance with the run-in. Like, doesn't Lance still owe Eddie a singles match because of that title? There was like #1 contender match, and Eddie was on the outside of the ring, but he never got eliminated. And
Lance is still gonna face him.
Technically, yes, he does owe him a match because remember when he was diagnosed with COVID, so that's why that match that happened. It changed differently. It was originally was supposed to be a triple threat, but it decided to be just Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley.
Right
now, yeah, you're right. We may see that still happening, but we're seeing another future feud coming.
Right. I don't see
and
that happening anymore because Eddie lost clean to Mox, lost clean to Pac. I don't know where he's. I should pull up the AEW rankings because
He could be a sore. He could pull the sore loser angle. That always extends.
Sure.
That always extends feuds.
Yeah, definitely. But AEW's ranking system, I love it. It makes sense, and they kind of book it accordingly. They do a better job of booking their rankings and championship titles than fucking UFC does.
Mm-hmm.
As the number 10 guy can get a title shot, and for almost no reason. But yeah, I think that Pac back in Death Triangle, man. I love that promo he cut where he was in his quarantine. I love that he returned. I love that he's back, and I love that they put the whole unit back together because I'm hoping we get that Thrace title coming up.
Yep,
That's what I'm hoping for, man. People are not talking about it, and
It'll be like one of the highest valued 6-man tags.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, like it can be done. Lucha did it. It was the staple for Lucha Underground for sure.
Yep.
Was that Thrace title, man? So like it can be done, and AEW has the teams to do it. So let's get it done.
All right, Money Mike, your thoughts?
Yeah, so it was interesting. And I guess for the reasons that Chris said, because Eddie Kingston lost clean to Moxley, Pac. What's next? It did seem like they were trying to get the attention away from him by having the Lance Archer run-in.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't doubt Archer becoming the new leader for Butcher and Blade, kind of taking that role. And for whatever reason, I feel like something happened to Kingston or he's like injured. I don't know. That's just my guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because that usually happens when – or that's going on usually when someone is written off, and it felt like he was being written off TV for a bit. So whether that's the case or not, I feel like the attention is now on Lance Archer for this, and Lance Archer versus Pac seems to be the thing going forward.
Yes.
So we'll see.
It's a slow AEW version of what a burial would be almost. Like, they're not totally jobbing Eddie out, but he's not winning.
I would say more like how it's just more I guess you could say we could define an exit way out of that storyline, and hopefully they can transition him to a new one immediately. Or it could be maybe, like how Mike said, just maybe take a little break off, but kind of disappearing little by little, shadowing away, and then, until that feud comes up with Pac and Archer. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I don't see Eddie winning any match against Lance Archer.
No, I want to see Archer.
Unless there's some hardcore, obviously there's going to be some kind of thing. I don't think it would be a one-on-one clean in the ring match. I think it would be like at it'd be cool to have a cinematic match at Archer's backyard. That might be where Eddie could win. Maybe he does something like handcuffs him to barbed wire and throws him down a.
Well, you could just cheat because he's the heel and he has the heel faction. There's gonna just be like a run-in.
They're both the heel.
No, Lance is a babyface now, pretty much. Lance.
Remind
me is he though? Is he?
He's an anti-hero at best. The same way Eddie is. Eddie's so good on the mic, you cheer him, but you hate his actions.
Yep.
Lance is not good on the mic. Well, he's not.
Because what Lance was saying to Pac was like, "Hey, man, get on the same page. We're gonna fight the bad guys now."
I mean, as long as you got Jake in your corner, you're gonna be cheered no matter what you do. But he's still the heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they
he's babyface for me.
Well, yeah.
What way to see on that? We'll have to
I have no predictions of what's gonna happen. I don't see Eddie and Archer teaming together for a long time.
Here's another big prediction I'm seeing. We're going to get to this a little bit later, but I think what's going to happen, it's going to be like a rematch of Cody and Lance Archer again, but this time the roles will be reversed. Cody's going to be the heel, and Lance Archer is going to be the babyface.
We'll have to wait.
I don't think Cody's turning heel anytime soon.
We'll get to it. When do we get there?
Okay.
Stuff.
All right. So then moving on, we did have Miro defeating Chuck Taylor. Now you got a Butler now moving on. Obviously, there's no Trent, there's no Trent because he's out for about 6 months.
A while. Yeah.
For a while, carrying a peg is not cute, ladies and gentlemen. That's It takes forever to heal. Forever. I know that feeling. But we'll see how that match happens. I want to move on to this very briefly. I want to move on to the Inner Circle, their 2021 resolution, you know, what their plans are. And then all of a sudden we had, okay, really?
Sammy Hagar.
I loved it. I can't believe none of us in the world ever put that together.
Came out of nowhere.
I was so disappointed in myself that it was sitting right in front of my fucking eyes the whole time.
Sammy Hagar is one of my heroes. Maybe he might show up with the tequila next week. You know?
Yeah, right. With some
Take it away,
the bubbly.
Take it away, Mr.
man.
Take it away, Mr. Money Mike. Your thoughts.
Yeah, you know, honestly, that was the best. There was a lot of cool moments in this segment. Obviously, the Sammy Hagar thing and Sammy Guevara being too young to get the reference, quote unquote. And also, I like the moment where they were all, you know, putting their middle fingers together or whatever. And then I still don't know if it's Santana or Ortiz, but one of them said, "Hey, have you noticed that your hand is darker than your face?"
Oh,
and
I noticed that too, for the tan lines. Yeah.
Yeah, and MJF says, I forgot the exact quote, but something along the lines of, like, "Papi, you're ruining it. Just give your middle finger and smile at the camera," so or something like that. Yeah, I like that moment too. But yeah, you know, the Inner Circle, and I've noticed this about Chris Jericho. He always likes to wrestle newer guys in different, you know, he doesn't like having the same opponents. You know, when he came back, did the feud with Owens, and, you know, or now he's with the Inner Circle. He likes to surround himself by new talent. And it just so happens that he hasn't been able to wrestle the people in his Inner Circle. So I feel like this was a cool way to get him to wrestle Sammy, to wrestle Jake, to wrestle Santana and Ortiz, you know, through this stipulation to see who's going to be the tag team moving forward in the Inner Circle. But if I were to predict who would win, or would I like to win, Santana and Ortiz. I feel like they're the proper tag team. MJF and Jericho are fine in singles, you know, storylines. I feel that that's fine. Sammy and Jake are fine on their own too. So, you know, the proper tag team is Santana and Ortiz. So I think that they will end up winning.
Mr. CK1, do you agree?
I got so many things I want to say about the Inner Circle, man. Like, and all on that subject. Let me start with saying that I love the Inner Circle a lot. So much. They have so much. There's so much more they can do. Like, there's so much potential with how funny they are together. But I don't like MJF and Wardlow in the Inner Circle. But that's part of the story. I don't want the Inner Circle to break up at all. But I need some movement somewhere. Wardlow, and I said this earlier about how I'm kind of proud of AEW giving clean wins. Wardlow getting a clean win over Jake Hager blew my mind. I did not see that coming. I thought there was going to be a run-in or something. I thought maybe MJF was going to come out. Or, you know, I didn't expect it to just be that clean. So I don't know where the lines are divided. Mike is right that Proud and Powerful are the proper tag team. They're the only tag team that isn't just put together. They came in AEW as a tag team. They should stay a tag team. And then what configuration Jericho and Sammy are going to maybe spin off and be a tag team, or Sammy wants in on that. How about we just have Sammy, MJF, and Jericho's accidentally win the first race championship? Something like that. Keep the band together. I just don't want anybody leaving except for MJF and Wardlow, but that's going to happen when Wardlow turns on MJF. I don't know.
Which might be in a while.
It might be soon. It may not be. They're not pushing that angle anymore. I know they teased it a little bit, where if Wardlow won like some title eliminator, he was going to give his title shot to Jericho or to MJF. Yeah, man, I don't know.
Well, here's another possibility of you talking about Wardlow and MJF turning on each other, because that could be one of the other two's babyface turn. So
it would be for Wardlow, because MJF is the greatest living heel we have.
Yeah, so Wardlow would actually be a pretty cool like babyface. Like, he betrays the faction, he's on his own, as like, all right, and then you get to know him, like when he's a babyface, you get to know him a little bit deeper because there's only so much. You know, he hasn't really cut promos. He hasn't gotten on the mic. He hasn't given you a chance to get to know him. Like, I came from this town.
Yeah, he doesn't need to, but then without MJF, he probably would.
I could honestly say that I wanted Jake Hager and Wardlow to be a team because that would be.
I was thinking about that.
That would have been a big guy team going for the tag team titles. Why the hell not? I'd love to see that.
Even up against a small guy team, especially.
Yeah, why not? You know, you have two guys that hate each other. Why are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me? Might as well team them up together and let them win the belts. And now they really have to look at each other's back, literally. You know, so that should have happened.
Yeah, I mean, you could have I'm going to do the math on this. Probably wrong. You could have Santana Ortiz versus Hagar and Wardlow versus Sammy and Jericho or MJF, and just have like a 4-way first team that wins gets to stay a team type of deal. I don't know. Like, there's so many things you could do. I just don't want them to break up because there's so many skits. They're so good at skits, and their dialogue and their banter is so good. I don't want to see that go away, man.
But, I mean, Mike has a valid point about Jericho. He hasn't really fought anybody, like, you know, there's somebody else new as of right now.
Right. He's – great point that Jericho loves to bring people up. Mm-hmm. Even when he's in the commentary booth,
yes,
and he's a heel and he's talking about someone who he's wrestled, he'll be like, oh, I wrestled that guy 5 years ago. Can you believe he beat me twice? Like, he brings stuff up to put someone else over at his own expense, and I love that.
Yes.
He's not afraid to help push talent at his own expense because he knows the glow is real. Like,
he's like a Jesse Ventura that gets other people over on commentary.
He gets bump. He's not afraid to share his spotlight. And that's something that, just ego aside, man, he just puts that aside. He's like, I remember he talked about someone recently where he's like, oh yeah, I fought that guy 10 years ago and he beat me. What a clown. I'm like, you reminded the fans, about something that happened so long ago to help put the guy over.
Well, yeah, that's why he's the GOAT. Jericho's the GOAT for that reason. He is the GOAT because I
GOAT with a J.
Yeah,
the joke. Jericho.
The joke.
The good joke. The
greatest Jericho of all time, man.
I fucking love it. Let's move on with that now. Let's move on with, the Elite. At first it was, okay, Kenny Omega and the Bucks getting ready. Okay, we're going to get ready, going to this tag team match against, Varsity Brothers and Limelight. Next thing you know, Don Callis, okay, you guys will come out with your own entrance. And then comes Kenny. And then Don Callis introducing the Good Brothers. Here comes down Carl Anderson and Big Doc coming in, teaming up with Omega versus the Varsity Brothers and Danny Limelight. By the way, congratulations to our brother from another mother, Danny Limelight. Congratulations.
It seems like yesterday we were interviewing him, and now he's facing Kenny.
Friend of the show.
Congratulations.
We love you, Danny.
Your debut in AEW Dynamite. Congratulations.
He responded to me with a comment on Instagram, mi gente, or mi gente.
My people.
My people. Exactly. So cheers to you, Mr. Limelight. I'm glad that you got your opportunity now in Dynamite. So, Mr. MGC, your thoughts about the match? Your thoughts, and then we'll discuss about after. But thoughts about the match first.
I think the only negative thing is that they didn't play the Good Brothers theme. But then again, it's like out of nowhere. So I think their way of explaining that is them showing Tony Khan and the Bucks in the back together is like, wait a minute, like why would they be playing their music? Because they're there in the back, like they're not even expecting them. So I love the reaction from Tony and the Bucks there in the back. The schmaz towards the end where everybody's fighting each other. The match overall, you get to see kind of like Kenny beat. This is probably the most ruthless I've seen Kenny in a while, in a match. While in wrestling, like Danny's taking the full brunt of Kenny, those Polish hammers and everything from Kenny, like his mercilessness. So you get to see a side of Kenny you don't see in a while, and then you get to see like Kenny and the Good Brothers definitely have that, that cool gang vibe. And then you got your old man enforcer Don Callis like also like keeping an
I
eye out
was gonna
there.
say Gallows at first. I'm like, he's not that old.
CK1, your thoughts about the match?
I was swerved a little bit by that. Let's give the Young Bucks their own entrance; they deserve it. And then when Callis was doing the, his best friends of all time, the greatest tag team of all time, I didn't think it was going to be. My phone's ringing for no reason. I didn't think it was going to be the Good Brothers. I was like, oh shit! How are the Young Bucks going to deal with that? I do and don't like it. It was funny, but I do want to keep them together. But you do have to consider that you do have two tag team champions from two different companies, and we may be getting a Good Brothers versus Young Bucks match down the line. And that might be where this is going, because that's the only place that would make sense to do that. Yeah, that's the only reason I think that they're doing that. Obviously, Don Callis is going to push his company, so he'll say his tag team, the Good Brothers, are better than the AEW tag team. So that makes sense. So many things that are happening right now, man. We're getting swerved, we're getting dodged, or dived, dipped, docked, didged. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a fucking Good Brother. So
maybe we could see the Motor City Machine Guns too. That's like the other one I'm pretty excited for.
Yeah,
Motor City Machine Guns.
We will discuss about Hard to Kill very shortly. So let's go ahead. Money Mike, the floor is yours.
AEW, bravo! My goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's think of it this way. In WWE, which I know we'll talk about in a bit, in WWE, if you have someone that is already in the ring, does not make an entrance, you already know that they're going to lose, right? It's kind of like, it's mostly to showcase the person that does have an entrance. Okay, Now, Omega and Good Brothers, all that happened, all that good stuff, and then the match starts. What a good match! For what it was, which was in WWE would have been like a squash match with little offense from the other people. AEW gives the other people a chance to shine. Some cool moves from Danny Limelight and from Varsity Blondes. Yeah.
Blondes,
so
I said
Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman. Yeah. So they get their chance to shine. That they are probably not at the level kayfabe wise as Omega and the Good Brothers, but they're still able to hold their own. They're not being squashed. They're being given some time to shine, which I really like that. I really think that that's the way to bring up stars, right? So that's the key right there. Now, as far as the whole Elite and Good Brothers and Bucks sort of thing, I like it. I was a bit disappointed. Granted, I did not watch Japan when the Bullet Club was running wild and all that good stuff. So I don't have that attachment, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term, to that idea of the Bullet Club returning and Too Sweet, Whoop Whoop, and all that good stuff.
Do you understand the vibe they gave though? Like, it was basically like a definite cross between DX and NWO is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
I could see it.
Yeah,
I could see the vibe. Sure.
At their peak, there was maybe 20 to 30 members, and so many that we don't even talk about right now because they're just not relevant. But it was as big as, maybe a little bit smaller than Maximum NWO, and with like all up and comers. But yeah, it was definitely fun. It was fun and violent. It was definitely a throwback for sure.
I will say that a lot of times, not just in wrestling, but in entertainment in general, when you have something that brings back nostalgia, you want it to be as good as it was, or you think that it's going to be as good as it was, or even better. But odds are that it might not live up to those expectations. So I feel like they've seen ahead. It seems like they have a plan, which is great for a wrestling company, right? I do feel like we're gonna get a Bucks versus Good Brothers match, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, we definitely probably will see that between the Good Brothers and Young Bucks. the way how it looks right after the match, we did see Moxley coming in, interfered, attack Omega and the Good Brothers. Then we see the Lucha Bros come in. I'm sorry, the Bucks came in after Mox, after that, and then the Lucha Bros came in after the Young Bucks came in, and then I don't know what we're seeing here. Are we gonna see again? Are we gonna see the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks again? Is that what we're gonna see again, or are we gonna see Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Moxley and the Lucha Brothers? Are we gonna see that? Or are we going to see the Young Bucks and Moxley versus the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega? So the biggest question mark here is, could there be either there'll be a baby, either they stay babyface, which I'm talking about the Bucks, or they go full on heel. So this is like the biggest question mark, which I got to give it to AEW for messing with the fans. Like, okay, where are they? Are they? Wait a minute, wait. Are they what? Like, are they facing this team or that team? I love it. I love what they're doing, and it got us more intrigued. It got us more questioning. It got us to do a lot of assumptions. So this,
and they do the thing where they make them come. They're really good. The subtle, which ramp did they come out of, or which ramp did they go into when they leave the match?
Exactly,
which is a very subtle. Like Young Bucks, for I believe the title-winning match against Revolution, they came out of the face ramp, but they went back in the heel ramp, and then everyone was like, "Oh, okay, well that means something." I'm like, I hope so, because I like heel Bucks.
It's controversial, man.
Yeah, but then versus the Good Brothers, they're definitely faces.
Yeah.
So I also don't want there to be a big show thing going on in AEW where people keep swapping around. Like, I would like someone to stick to something, at least stick to a character, whether or not it's liked or not liked is up to the fans, but stick to that persona.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, that's the biggest question mark that we all have. Like, where do we see this developing now more? It's more about the Young Bucks, to be honest. We already know where Moxley leads up to. He wants his revenge. He wants his title back. Yeah. We already know that. Lucha Brothers, of course, they're a tag team. Who has the belts? The Bucks. Of course, they'll go ahead and attack. And they're, get back at Omega and the Good Brothers. But the only one who's in the middle of this is the Young Bucks, because we don't know what side they're going to be on. Are they really going to be on Don Callis' side, since we see Tony Khan on Impact putting, his promos, putting up, about Dynamite's upcoming events? I mean, we don't know. As of this point, we don't know where they stand. Yeah. And that's the beauty of it that got us now, like, I need to see it. What's going to happen? Like, we got it like that on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So that's how it has us nowadays. So we'll have to wait and see on that, gentlemen. But let's go ahead and move on. I want to move on after that. We did see the Jurassic Express versus FTR. Good to see FTR back. Great match.
Good. Jurassic Express back. They were gone for a while.
Oh, they were more in Dark. But,
I mean, less people watch Dark, and so it's.
I watch Dark.
Dynamite. I watch Dark highlights. Like, I mean, Dark's not a long show, and it's still quality. And there's still storylines on it. Like, there are independent storylines that only exist on Dark, and that's pretty rad. Anna Jay's like main eventing Dark right now, which I love because I think that there's some big things coming for her.
Let's hope. Let's hope it does.
Let's hope it happens, man. Because for when we get to Dark Order, bro, I got some things.
Definitely, we will get to Dark Order. So yes, Jurassic Express, FTR. Good to see FTR back. Old school fashion heel win with a pickup. So, Money Mike, where do you see the future of FTR? Do you see them now that they dropped in the bottom of the rankings? I'm pretty sure, I believe they're probably 5 in the rankings of the tag team contention. I'm not quite sure. I'm just throwing a number out there guessing. But where do you see the FTR's future of this so far?
FTR is still ranked number 1. So. Right. So, they're still in the title picture, but again, AEW doing things right. They're not being granted title match after title match. If it's, again, and I hate to compare, but here it is. In WWE, we would have seen this match 4 times already. FTR versus the Bucks.
Rematches. That was one of the things that they mentioned, and I like it.
Yeah, good thing that they're sticking to that, So if you're gonna get a title shot, you have to work your way back up. Jurassic Express, the Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy combination, they're ranked 2, I think, or 2 or 3. I forget. But yes, they have to. They have to beat contenders. They have to, make a case for a title shot. They're not just handed around by random executives, So yeah, so I'm all for it. And might I say that I did like Jungle Boy walking out with the Tarzan Boy theme. So I thought that was cool, and I wonder if they're gonna keep that for Jurassic Express also, or just for Jungle Boy. But we'll see.
Just for Jungle Boy, because he bought Tony Khan bought the rights for it. By the way, people who have here in SoCal especially have seen Jungle Boy in the independent circuit, like bar wrestling or PWG or other. He has come out. That's his theme song. So I was there singing the song. So Tony Khan bought the rights just for him. That's cool. And I love it. He did do it. So that's a good question. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be for Jurassic Express or just only for Jungle Boy, but I think it's going to be only for Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy is going to be the feature of this. And like how we discussed about it in our previous archives. Do not forget to subscribe to it, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, we have discussed of Jungle Boy being the future of AEW alongside with MJF, which they are within 5 years or even less, probably maybe next year or so. Never know. Or by the end of the year. Never say never. We do not know. But yes, Mr. Steamboat, your thoughts about the FTR and Jurassic Express in the future for FTR?
It's like, FTR could rip people up like easily with the way they move. Jungle Boy, like you said, his future. I actually want to see Jungle Boy in more single stuff. And to be honest, I'm actually not that big a fan of Jurassic Express as a tag team. I really like each person on that team on their own, more or less. Like they shine best more on their team maneuvers are kind of fun, but I'd rather see Jungle Boy team with somebody else and Luchasaurus team with somebody else, just because the varying styles and sizes, because it's. I want to see Luchasaurus just work his magic on his own, and then Jungle Boy and and Marco Stunt. They're doing some interesting things with them. Who knows where that's gonna head?
With the Birthday Boy -1 soon, right? Is that?
Yeah, I guess something's happened.
Yeah, that's something along the future when he's already 19, hopefully. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I'm kind of curious.
CK1. Your thoughts?
Yeah, we haven't seen all 3 of Lucha Express in singles matches, but I know they can work. We saw Jungle Boy in a match against, was it Cody for the TNT belt? I think.
Jungle Boy, the last time we saw him.
Or was it Jungle Boy versus Jericho? It was Jungle Boy and Jericho in that 10-minute match where that's what it was. Okay. Where he had to beat Jericho within 10 minutes and he got to 9:59 or something like that. Oh, goddamn, that was a good match. I see Jungle Boy down the line winning a singles title. It'd be a bold statement to say it's the heavyweight title, but that would be the feel-good moment of the year. That would definitely be the Daniel Bryan WrestleMania moment.
They'll give him the TNT probably first.
Yeah.
If anything, yeah.
Or the FTW.
Oh, FTW, that would be interesting.
That would be great. I keep bringing up the triple title, but Jungle Express is primed to win that probably first.
Yeah.
I do think they do deserve that first, but then lose it to Death Triangle couple weeks later.
First, if not second, because the other one's the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy's another.
Nah,
I see you.
No. Yeah,
I see you.
So
yeah.
When I say no, I don't mean first or second in line. I say maybe down the line, but I don't see those being the first 2 sets of champions. I like them in the team. I like them in singles. I like that it is a team. I like that they exist. I like that they're fun and funny and they can work. And then the physical dynamic is hilarious. Seeing Luchasaurus do what he can do with everybody 1/4 his size as a partner is pretty fantastic. So let's see what happens with the triple titles. If that doesn't happen, I wouldn't say split them up, but at least give Jungle Boy a singles run. I don't want to see something like Luchasaurus turns heel and smashes the rest of them, and then goes for like a TNT title or something. That would be so cliche.
Yes.
But that's pretty much it, man. They're just kind of the tag team gatekeepers right now. They are ranked number 2, and they did not beat Revolution, and they're probably not going to beat the Young Bucks. So the only way for them is down, unfortunately.
I see. We'll see how the future holds for them for their future tag team titles.
Motor City Machine Guns.
Hey, well, we'd have to wait to see if they come or not. We don't know yet.
He likes good wrestling.
We all love good wrestling. Here's this other one. This is another segment that occurred on Dynamite. I'm going to say this right now. I am lost of interest because the fact that this individual she cannot feud with her because she has a newborn on the way. And I'm talking about the Jade Cargill segment with Cody. So I just want to say this right now. That segment, she came at a bad time. I mean, it's not her fault. Shit,
Right.
happened. Okay. So now Cody needs to, and whoever's producing that storyline, they need to figure something out very quickly.
They need to pivot, yeah.
They need to They need to figure her out because you just brought and signed this dominant fitness model.
She is so jacked. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then her next to everyone in that room.
She's the tallest one.
Not Rose. Gypsy. The other
Red Velvet.
Red Velvet. Sorry, that's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Wow. She is going to. She needs to pick a feud with Nyla Rose like now.
They need to do something with her now because she hasn't had her debut match as of yet. But when she does, obviously we already see it's going to be Red Velvet. That's going to be maybe a squash match. I'm hoping.
She's definitely going to come through and run through the top 15.
It's gonna suck. But I mean, they need to do something with her as of right now because we were all expecting that feud with her and Brandy, and then we had Shaq on Jade Cargill's corner and Cody on Brandy's corner. That's what was going to happen. But newborn, here we go, out of the picture.
And then Shaq being like,
well,
bring out the icy hot. Bring it out now.
This is just theoretical. I don't know the timeline because the injury was pretty bad. But when are we getting back in the ring?
Oh, Chris Statlander. She will be coming back soon. She looks like she's in good shape. She has been coming out on BTE. She did a segment with Griff Garrison. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, she looks like she's
trying to kidnap him.
Yeah, trying to kidnap him.
Like, I love Chris Statlander. Like, too soon for an injury. Like, goddamn, man. Like, she's just so good in the ring, I think. And I think that
as a matter of fact,
for being new, for being new to the public, she's gonna get better. You say the same about Anna Jay.
Even her, she can even feud with
the timeline that she's in.
But even her, she can feud with Jade Cargill. She's almost, I mean, she's tall, but not as tall like Cargill. But
I need to look up stats, but Statlander's easily 6 feet exactly. I believe. Maybe 5'11".
But yeah, I mean, now that's a difficult part.
Oh, she's 5'9" and a quarter. She looks so much taller.
Who? Jade Cargill?
No, Statlander.
Oh. Cargill looks like she's like 6'2" or 6'3".
Yeah, but she was also wearing heels. She's 5'10", so yeah, 5'10" in heels is easily 6 feet.
Okay, she was her way. Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, because she's coming as the heel, so either you turn Nyla Rose face, which probably not. But yeah, have Jade smash the top 15, and then hopefully by the time she's done with 6 of them, have Statlander come in at like number 9, and then obviously lose to her, but it'll set up a good heel versus face feud. And then I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Shaq.
We don't know either.
She brought it up. She was talking something like, "I'll get to your boy Cody later." I'm like, "No, do that now. I need to know."
Gonna be like an icy hot match in the ring, like just nothing but.
You gotta get the gift.
No. It'll work. Here's the thing. This feud started off so hot.
Oh yeah.
But I'm feeling icy now towards it because really, like, you're gonna. You're gonna have Shaq, who has been the sponsor for Icy Hot for now, and I couldn't think of another one, but no, okay.
Yeah, am feeling icy towards it too.
Right? The and congratulations, of course, to Brandy and Cody for their upcoming child, or but yes, there needs to be a pivot, and I feel like this Red Velvet angle is the pivot, but obviously this is not going to last 9 months, right? So
No.
and then the time that it takes for Brandy to get back in shape, and the baby and everything that it needs. So it's going to be a while, maybe like a year, for her to come back and properly continue the storyline. But I mean, if anybody could do it, AEW, I'm sure they've got a few contenders there for Jade.
Damn it! Give me Awesome Kong. Damn it!
Bring her back.
Who
Yeah.
also left for the same reason Brandy did. Don't forget, Awesome Kong was in AEW for 2 episodes, I think, at the most.
No, she didn't leave because she was pregnant. She left
I
without
thought that.
No, yeah, no. That happened to her when she was in WWE.
Oh, okay.
Not in AEW.
My bad. And I know that she's on Glow, which is, by the way, side note, fantastic TV show. Go watch Glow on Netflix. That's the shit.
Got canceled.
Whatever. There's still 2 or 3 good seasons.
2.
Yeah, it's a good show that Awesome Kong is on. But yeah, I that would make sense too.
Yeah.
There's really not a lot of faces in AEW. Not a lot of female wrestlers in AEW that I think could believably compete with Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Like, I don't see Britt Baker beating her. I don't see Reba Rebel at all. Maybe Serena Deeb, because she's got the experience. Maybe she can play that card. That'd be great.
Thunder
Rosa, who is kind of like a heel face, which I love. Abaddon, no. Abaddon's great, but no. Yeah, she's going to probably run roughshod for a while. She's going to be the female Lance Archer.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of Serena, that was a good match between her and Tay Conti for the NWA Women's Champion. That was another great, phenomenal match. Teacher versus student, people that are not familiar with that. Remind you that Serena Deeb was the one that trained Tay Conti in NXT when she was one of the trainees in the Performance Center. So they're very familiar with each other's work.
It's over, Tay. I have the high ground.
Oh, yep, Jedi, yep. Star Wars, there you go. Nothing is over.
Obi-Wan, Serena Deeb.
Obi-Wan, Serena Deeb versus Anakin Ty Conti. So it was a good match. So yes, move forward with that. Let's move on now with the main event.
Well, real quick, let's segue that Tay Conti and AJ relationship. Do you think that she's gonna go that route? Do you think that?
I think so.
Her baby faces now pretty much after the
that's what I wanted
show.
to talk about too. Segueing out of that also into something I said a couple weeks ago, where Dark Order I think needs to decide how serious and dark they want to be, or how silly and face they want to be. I mean,
I have something to say about that. Obviously,
this is their moment to be in the best spirits they possibly can. But I think it would be at least a cool contrast where they're kind of joking in the back, but then they start doing some real evil shit. Like, they got to come back. They got to start doing something that's like Dark Order-y again, like they used to do, where they would like kidnap people and I'll let you get in there. And then the Adam Page thing. Like, so we could be getting Adam Page and Tay Conti in on this. And then Anna Jay, I hope, makes enough sense for her to run the whole thing. Because Evil Uno is just a handyman. Okay, that's my thoughts. Take it away, Mike.
No, okay. So here's what I would like to see happen. To your point, that something dark needs to happen, right? Right now, everybody, likes the Dark Order. They are expecting Adam Page to say yes to joining them. What if he says no? What if Adam Page says, "Sorry guys, but I just see myself as a singles competitor," and that angers the Dark Order and they attack him right there and then? What if that happens? That's something I would like to see. So because they're looking for a leader, right? And if this guy that they put time and effort into says no and rejects them, and that angers them and makes them snap as a group, and ends up attacking him. So I that's something I would like to see, and we'll find out next week.
I would cheer for them if they did that. That would be a face move. But I know what you mean for sure. God, yeah, they just – yeah, I liked it when they were just dark and scary, man. Like, that was the shit. Like, it was cool, and I hope that somehow we get back to that.
I would like to see Dark Order feud with the Inner Circle. I think that would be, for me, like, one of the things I would love to see. It doesn't matter if they're heels or faces. Remind you, in AEW, there's no such thing as heel and baby faces. None of that shit. Remind you that. So, I mean, why not see Dark Order feuding with the Inner Circle? The Inner Circle,
that's the only faction where there's enough members to even slightly compete.
I would love it. Why not? And then
unless it's like the Bullet Club, which that's a completely different timeline.
Right, a whole different timeline, but because they're dealing with their situations within each other at the moment. But I would like to see Inner Circle recruit women in their faction to feud with Anna Jay. But let's say Tay Conti. Imagine Tay Conti turns her back on Anna Jay, joins Inner Circle. Boom, there you go. There you have it. That could happen.
Would she go from heel to heel? That'd be like a heel to heel.
So what? She's going to heel on her best friend.
I get it. Yeah, I understand.
Plus the Jericho KO moment. You're my best friend. Bah! There you go. There you have it. You never know. That could happen.
Festival of friendship.
Exactly. Festival of friendship. Turn her back on Anna Jay. You let me down because of you. I didn't win the NWA, women's championship belt. I'm going with Inner Circle. Boom. There's your feud.
We got Inner Circle girls, which will be kind of cool.
Call us. We can write for you. We'll write for you. Not fight for you. We'll write.
You know the story.
No more hot, icy
Papa John's
angles. Icy hot angles.
There you go. Se habla español. All right, now main event, ladies and gentlemen. Main event, the TNT Championship. Your TNT World Champion Darby Allin defeating the Machine Brian Cage. What a match. Loved it. It was a David and Goliath story for sure. Not giving up.
It was David versus like 4 Goliaths.
It was like the Incredible Hulk versus Iron Man, right? Kind of remember like a little way like that. And
it was Spider-Man versus all of the Avengers.
Oh shit!
Let's go, bro. Let's go.
Let's go. So yes, the match was incredible. Then we had Stang coming up. That's right, with the bat, saving, making sure there's no interference between, Team Taz. Great match. I loved it. Great story.
God damn, Brian Cage, what he can do in that ring is unbelievable. I keep touting how good Lucha Underground was in its heyday, but go back and watch some Brian Cage matches, man. Like, Jesus, he was one of the first big men that I could see moving like that. Like, his ability to catch people when he caught Darby Allin in that suicide dive into the suplex, fuck, man. So accurate.
Well, go ahead. Take it away.
No, man, he's fluid. He's a fluid big guy, like, completely underrated in the ring. It was a protected win because obviously it was a surprise. It was a surprise roll-up, but it was a backslide. And you only have Sting and the Equalizer, which is the bat, versus essentially a count, Hook, Taz, Ricky Starks, Will Hobbs. I don't know what the future holds for the feud, except Brian Cage may be winning, Sting coming out, clocking all of Team Taz, and then clocking Darby. I'm still standing by that, man. I'm still standing by the first Sting heel turn ever is going to happen on Darby. There's no way it doesn't, man. Like,
yeah. Well, I'll
bet $1 against all of you guys right now.
No, because in interviews, Sting has said so many times over the years, like even like Jim Cornette, who's talked with him, like, you've never wanted to go heel. You've never.
I don't care. I don't care what he said. Hogan said that too.
You've never wanted to be a bad guy. It's like, but this is over 40 years now.
This isn't Sting. This is I am not. He's back for a reason. He had unfinished business. He sat out
to finally do the thing. So
yeah, like, he's back for a reason, and there's something he wants to say that he hasn't said yet in the ring. Otherwise, he would have stayed at home with those paychecks.
Which is this episode is brought to you by Modelo.
Yeah. He's literally 60 years old. So yeah, I think there's a statement to be made, and I think I don't see it not happening. I don't know why
it's inevitable.
I don't see why no one else is talking about it. It's so obvious. And if I'm wrong, that's the upset.
Well, I think one of the things that I want to see come out of this, because I mean, my review of the match, though, I love the crucifix roll up. That's kind of
the
like,
match itself was fantastic. How Darby juggles, dodging, getting interference in.
I love the double stomp. Like you can only do double stomps if you're like a lighter guy or a lighter competitor. Those are really, those are pretty dangerous moves.
Yeah, I've seen Super Dragon do it, and it doesn't look easy to do.
Yeah, you gotta be a light person and so I kind of like I like that Darby Allin has the double stomp in his arsenal. I want to see definitely like a lot more kicks coming from him, though, because usually when you think of smaller guys, you think kung fu and stuff like that. I mean, Jet Li's a small guy, and you saw him as like a one-man wrecking crew in all of his films. But coming back to it, like I think Hook, I kind of see one of this thing, maybe Hook kind of coming out with just his debut in that heel group. Maybe Hook could pull a fast one onto Darby because, Darby's a small guy, Hook's a new guy, do the math there. Hook could probably pull a fast one on it in addition to him being able to cheat.
For the title, like in the future, or just down the line?
Not the title, but just maybe a non-title win Hook could get.
Right.
Just
maybe
to
after Darby
himself.
loses it to Cage, which is
like,
gonna happen.
And then he could get his experience on the mic is like, well, if you're so confident as a champion, you could take on a rookie like me, And then he's of course maybe his dad will pass him the brass knuckles or something like that, or some kind of maybe a blackjack to hit him over the head with, So because that's the great thing about a heel, you could always just cheat and use weapons, like whenever you're up against somebody either more experienced or bigger than you. All the great magic that pro wrestling offers. Or who knows if what you say does come true, Chris, it could be the baseball bat.
Well, it could be true.
I want
it will be a heel turn, and it could be to help Hook. I said I believe in new talent, but I didn't say who. It was going to be Darby. And then he gives.
I think it's going to be along the lines of like, you stole everything I worked for, kind of a Nate Diaz speech.
Yeah.
Like something like that. Fuck, man.
Yeah, but
I love that there's so many threads of this AEW sweater that are still being stitched together all the way back from Double or Nothing. Like when it debuted, like a year and a half.
Bret
later.
Hart shows up again. It's like, hey, it's still the sharpshooter.
People already, AEW's been around long enough to where people already forget Bret Hart was in AEW. So there's just so many loose ends right now that are still growing.
Hey, Sting, guess what? It's still the sharpshooter.
So organically, they don't force these storylines. When something doesn't work, and coincidentally, it's only been in Brandy Rhodes storylines, they shut it down. They don't try to force something that doesn't work and write something that's just as bad as it could be. I just can't wait to see some resolution to every storyline that's going on right now. I want to see what happens with Darby and Cage, the Young Bucks, Dark Order. I want Anna Jay to run that shit. I want Paige to get the shit kicked out of him. The Miro Chuck Taylor thing. It's probably the worst storyline going on right now, but at least it only lasts for 30 days. So fuck, man. Like, at least there's something going on.
At least these are using Miro. That's one thing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, definitely.
At least he ended up winning, and he's got himself a butler for the next few weeks.
Yeah,
till the wedding, right? Is it till
I don't know, but yeah, maybe to the wedding. I don't know.
I know that's going to be an event. Like they're going to make that a thing.
They're going to make that an event, yeah.
Like the old Macho Man, Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah, something's going to happen like that old school style, like when the Snake, that was when Jake the Snake's, feud with Macho with the whole Snake thing, and yeah, so we might see.
As long as we don't see Liv Morgan saying that she had a thing with Penelope Ford, I'm good.
You don't want to hear that?
Or as I was saying that, my mind was disagreeing with me.
That's a little bit better storyline than the Lana Lashley bullshit.
I gotta say, Chris, it's really less Chuck Taylor's and more Orange Cassidy's, since he's like the star babyface and all this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, what people want to see is Orange Cassidy go over Miro. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, or them just to have, like, it'll be a feud. Maybe Miro gets a win, Orange Cassidy gets a win, and you know they could have their trilogy, because it's kind of like Michael Elgin and Tetsuya Naito. You know, like your big kind of athletic dude versus like your laid back guy. You know, Orange Cassidy, you know, is the Naito of America, and Naito is the Orange Cassidy of Japan. I'll never stop saying it.
Okay. Mr. Money Mike, but your thoughts still about the match still between Darby Allin and Brian Cage?
Man, that was an ass whooping, I'll tell you what. And, you know, in true form, because, you know, one guy has 100 pounds on the other, you're going to see an ass whooping, you know, and unless it's UFC 1 where Royce Gracie, you know, but that's another story.
It was Keith Hackney versus Emmanuel Yarbrough, and it was a 400-pound difference. It was the White Tiger of Keith Hackney versus the Sumo of Emmanuel Yarbrough, and yeah, it was bad.
Well,
it was the greatest weight difference in the history of UFC. So yeah, write that down.
In the odds, 100 pounds is a difference that could spell disaster for the smaller guy, usually. But you know, this is pro wrestling, of course, and we like good storytelling. We like a good story, and a good story was delivered here because, you know, the fighting champion prevails against all odds, and it's someone that I personally think is.
Somebody froze.
Hey, the icy hot again.
I'm still
It's
here.
icy.
They said Mr. Hero froze, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Shaq heard his ice
I think
powers.
Shaq heard.
Shaq heard
I
us.
think Shaq heard. But you know, one thing I want to go ahead and there you go. You're back.
Oh, I'm back.
Here you
Yeah.
are. Welcome. We missed you, brother.
Thank you. I like that spot where the steps were put into play, where he was going to, I forgot what he was going to do to Darby, but he ended up on the steps, and there was the coffin drop. You know, Darby's finisher is one of my favorites at the moment. So
You like it?
yeah, I like the coffin drop.
What are your thoughts on oh fuck, god damn it, my girl Shotzi taking that move? Do you think that it's kind of a no-no?
Whoa. Shotzi Blackheart,
Blackheart's been using it.
she's been using the coffin drop.
Using the coffin drop. She's been doing it a lot. She did it to the outside a couple months ago, and I think she completely missed it. Yeah, she did it off the middle rope to the outside, and fucking someone didn't catch her. And she just
Well, what does she call it?
I don't know, man. Probably the misfit drop or some shit like that.
Something
The
like
misfit
that.
drop.
Let me find out. I mean, as far as that particular question, they're wrestling on the same universe. Obviously, they're both active right now, and he's new, and that move is new, and she's new, and now she's doing it. I kind of don't like it, but it is what it is.
Why don't you like it? Let me ask you that.
Because it's a very unique finisher, and for someone to immediately start doing it in a rival promotion, it's very obvious. Does that make sense? It's like it's a very obvious, unoriginal thought. Does that make any sense?
Yes, but I mean, maybe this is just me personally. If I came up with a finisher and I saw the other guy in the other company use it, honestly, I wouldn't care. Because who's doing it better? Right here. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know.
You remind somebody of the original when you copy them. That's
right.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit in poor taste. Like when everyone started doing when people do the stunner like immediately after Austin started doing it, like when Disco Inferno started doing it, I was like, oh god, really, bro? And I know Mikey Whipwreck was doing it first, and that's how I felt when Austin was doing it. I'm like, you're just doing the whippersnapper, like, and he's still doing the whippersnapper right now. At the time, so to me, I kind of have this weird, like in music, like don't steal a riff. It's like stealing a riff. Like you just heard this song come out that's really famous. Now you're doing that riff. It's kind of the same thing.
The 4-chord song.
Well, no, but like
yeah, right.
The coffin drops. Some finishers are very specific. Like there's no variation to it, you know, shit like that. I'm sending the GIF in the private chat real quick. Oh, we can't play it. Fuck it. Anyways, I completely went off on a tangent.
It's all good. But I just wanted to go ahead and say right quick that congratulations to both of these gentlemen, because the fact is that they both main evented Dynamite. Brian Cage, first main event. Darby Allin, first main event. So congratulations.
Did Cage main event against Moxley for the title? That was a pay-per-view, right?
That was pay-per-view.
That's a bigger deal than a Dynamite.
I mean, understanding, but pay-per-view.
But you can say
once of a lifetime, though.
I like that the TNT Championship main evented.
Exactly.
It brings up the prestige of the title.
We're elevating belts for the month of January is the month to elevate belts.
Hashtag elevate belts.
And speaking of elevating, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on with New Japan very quickly now. Very briefly, I want to go ahead and just announce New Japan is on New Japan Strong Style is tonight, this evening. Don't miss out, ladies and gentlemen. Check your social media platforms for New Japan Strong Style USA. And obviously in that card, it's pretty much the road to the Lions Break, which is you have Misterioso versus Barrett Brown, TJP versus Adrian Quest. You have Blake Christian, ACH, and Fred Roser versus the Bullet Club, which is Hikuleo, El Fantasmo, and Kenta. So make sure you guys watch that tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You guys will enjoy New Japan Strong Style USA. I want to move on also. The road to the beginning for New Japan begins this Sunday, January the 17th, all the way throughout January the 29th. And then the first main event pay-per-view, which will be the new beginning in Nagoya, but Matt will probably say it better than what I'm saying.
Nagoya.
There you go.
You got it. Mm-hmm. You got it.
That's right. So the main event for that is the Never Openweight Championship, and that is Shingo Takagi versus one-on-one versus Tanahashi. And like how we discussed about it last week, Mr. Steamboat, that finally that belt is known as being now more relevant, and now is elevated to where it's supposed to be. So,
yep. I want to see a new design for it. Like I posted about it in the group. If somebody like Tanahashi's challenging for it, and great like Shingo Takagi. That's another. I'm mentioning Dragon Gate again. Just like Pac we mentioned earlier. Shingo Takagi. That's another former Dragon Gate champion. Carrying that never open weight title and elevating its prestige. Him and Tanahashi. So I hope they get a new design soon, because it's a little generic now. It matches the 6-man title, but for great wrestlers to hold it, I mean, I was just watching Will Ospreay versus Ibushi, and look where they are now.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think if they really bring a new design for that belt, most definitely. And actually, I would pretty much almost make it close to the U.S. IWGP almost in a way, but a little bit more, a little more prestigious, maybe like a straight like platinum, silver, and like. I
like it when you put the names of the previous champion on the belt. There's kind of like that's really.
Yeah, it gives a lot of history to it. Definitely, I agree.
The junior heavyweight belt. I mean, you got Liger on there, and then you have Tiger Mask on there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So don't forget, stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. New Japan, the road to the new beginning starts this Sunday, January 17th, all the way to the 29th. Make sure you tune in on NewJapanWorld.com. If you haven't subscribe to that channel. So make sure you subscribe to that network. Moving on to pro wrestling news. Speaking of crossovers, we've been seeing a lot of crossovers as of late. Well, there's one that people have been sleeping on, which is MOW. Had their first Lucha Underground wrestler debuting on their territory, and that is Mil Muertes, making his debut, defeating Brian Pillman Jr. for his first match. And also, Los Parks defeated the Von Erichs, winning the MLW World Tag Team Championships, courtesy of, Team Filthy. That's right, Team Filthy, Tom Lawler, being the guest referee for that. So it's free on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, so make sure you can watch MLW on YouTube for free every Wednesday night. You can see that too, every Tuesday or Wednesday. But at the end of that show, there was an Aztec sign coming up. So, yes, it was more promotion for Salida de la Renta, she's the manager of Mil Muertes and Los Parks. So, basically, we will be seeing a crossover between Lucha Underground and MLW now. So, now we're seeing that. So, there could be there's a relationship between AAA and MLW that is building more. So, we're looking forward to seeing maybe more Lucha Underground wrestlers like King Cuerno or I mean, we don't even know who else is signed, with Lucha Underground nowadays. Because Ricky Reyes, I know he's still signed with Lucha Underground. But it's just so many talents that we have to wait and see of what MLW does. And this is the reason why they did this, because Court Bauer does regret letting go of Leo Rush. I mean, I'm not Leo Rush, who is the Ring of Honor World Champion. He regrets letting him go because that was his talent. That was Los Ingobernables, right? The original man right there that could have brought a lot of attention for MLW. But he let him walk, and he went to Ring of Honor. And look at him now. Ring of Honor, now he's the Ring of Honor World Champ. He's doing, he's on a negotiation contract with Ring of Honor with his brother Dragon Lee, one of my other favorite wrestlers, by the way, if you guys don't know who he is. Phenomenal wrestler. I'll tell you that right now. Matt will tell you that. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But I just want to get your thoughts, gentlemen. Now we're seeing so many crossover promotions. Now we're seeing Lucha Underground, MLW. Money Mike, you expect what do you see from this by far? I mean, I know this is news for you, but what do you see this going between MLW and Lucha Underground? Do you love what you're seeing these crossover promotions?
I had thought that Lucha Underground was gone. I actually didn't know that they were still in business. So it's good to hear that they have something going on, right? And yeah, MLW, I keep hearing more and more about it. The interest is starting to grow on me, So I'm gonna have to really check this out because I'm a big fan of crossovers. I like two worlds colliding, and if that's where this is headed, that's going to be awesome for everybody involved.
Definitely agreed. CK1, you're a big fan of Lucha Underground yourself. How do you feel?
I am such a big fan that I didn't know that they're back. What is this? Are you talking? This is breaking news to me, man. I'm trying to find out what we're talking about here. Lucha Underground and MLW?
Yes, sir. Lucha Underground, MLW. Mean what this debut? It's happening. You will be seeing talent from
Where?
Underground.
I don't I don't understand. The company's back, or is it just like No Muertes going to MLW? Because that's all that I see.
Well, that's all you see as of now, but you have to watch the show. So make sure you go on YouTube, like this gentleman.
I apologize.
Go on
YouTube I thought it was
and watch the show
to
watch the ending of the show. Mr. Steamboat, you liked it so far.
You're mute.
You're on mute, sir.
He's at a loss for words.
I'm at a loss for words, yeah. I was worried of.
Tell me real quick, like, was there like a teaser that's like Mil Mascaras or Mil Muertes like?
Well, we met this. He did fight. He fought Brian Pillman Jr. He debuted.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
but
so
the ending.
The Underground thing was like, did they actually say like Lucha Underground is bound?
The Aztec is there. The tease is there. So meaning is reports are coming in, and it is confirmed that they are going to bring Lucha Underground stars to MLW as a crossover that we'll be doing.
Okay.
We'll be seeing in the future. So that you will be seeing. That is most definitely. And I confirmed, and I cannot mention this other. No, it wasn't from what's his face. I'm not going to mention him more because I promised someone that I was not going to mention that person.
Who, Vampiro?
No.
The head writer?
Oh.
No. I can't say it. If not, I got fined for it. I can't say it. Okay.
So, but I gotta say though, for like MLW, because in Lucha Underground, it was like Lucha Underground had a big chunk of like AAA's roster. I'm guessing, correct?
Yes.
Like, there was a lot of people from there, so it's always cool to see their roster in the United States whenever we can get them.
Yeah, the Lucha Underground roster was as diverse as it gets.
Right, but to remind you that technically it's just only the character base that they're using. Like, it's the luchadors like from AAA, right? But they're taking the character and in MLW, like Messias, and Messias is Mil Muertes. Whoever doesn't know who Messias is, look him up. He's part of Pedro Wild's faction in AAA. So I mean, he's very known. He was part of Brother James Mitchell. Was it James Mitchell, right? TNA Impact, Matt? I think you remember, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Father James Mitchell.
Father James Mitchell. Yeah, he's part of his faction. So, yes, he's...
Abyss and all the dark guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So, I think they're just more using the character base. because we don't even know how the real relationship AAA and MLW is. Because remind you, they have a relationship with AEW, so we don't even we don't know how open the relationship are. As we speak, we do not know. So we'll see more future, when it comes up. Now move on with Ring of Honor right quick. Dalton Castle has not signed yet. He's still looking. He's going to test the market. But I know that Ring of Honor offered him a great offer to the table. Like, here you go, kid. You'll be pretty much be part of creative, be pretty much taking over what the villain Marty Scurll was doing, being the booker, being the one, taking over pretty much his spot. Right now, who's doing that is Ray Orris. He's doing that, taking that spot right now, being the booker for Ring of Honor. But he's having help along the way. So as of right now, Dalton Castle's going to test the market, see what AEW, NWA, WWE, New Japan is going to offer him. So we don't know. But I think he's going to stay in Ring of Honor most likely. And now, just with Ring of Honor, also now they're doing their rankings now. So now they take out both rankings for their television championship and their pure championship. Now, remind people, ladies and gentlemen, that the world television champion for Ring of Honor is Dragon Lee. And he's your current Ring of Honor pure champion is, of course, Jonathan Gresham, the Octopus. So the rankings goes by top five. So I'll name them right quick for TV. Ray Orris, Tony Deppen, Dad Draper, Kenny King, and LSG is for the TV. Pure, Tracy Williams, Flip Gordon, Josh Wood, Ray Titus, and Fred Yehi. So I'm glad that Ring of Honor is stepping up and now starting doing rankings as well. So keep an eye on Ring of Honor, ladies and gentlemen. Keep following them, too, on YouTube. Now move on. WWE announced their Superstar Spectacular, which is coming up in a few weeks. We did mention on episode 35 in the archives about the India, NXT India. Well, this is going to be it. You will be having stars from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and stars from India. Mainly, the main attraction is Jinder Mahal, the Bollywood Boys, and more to come. Now, the reason why I brought this up in this Pro Wrestling News because I feel bad for one individual, and that is for Jinder Mahal. And this is why I'm going to say why, and I want you guys to agree with me or disagree with me, your thoughts. I feel that they sold this to him really, really good. Like, hey, you're gonna be the champ of India. You're the main attraction here. You're gonna be running the whole show for NXT India coming up once it opens and it develops. What happened to the feud with McIntyre, Sheamus? I mean, upcoming future feuds he could have had in the main roster if he's already coming back. Especially with Drew McIntyre, I actually would as much as we do not like their in-ring skills ability of Jinders, but I like a storytelling. And I think that would have been a great storytelling between two best friends right there, Jinder and Drew, because they're really best friends. Now this is and Sheamus, of course. That's triple threat.
No, it's a three-man band.
Oh yeah. He's later. If he was still there, but he's not there anymore, unfortunately. But I feel with this event coming up and with NXT India, we're not gonna see Jinder going to the main roster in a long time. I think he's gonna be staying as champion there, and I feel whoever sold it to him, I feel bad for him because now we're not gonna see him in the main roster. We're not gonna see the Jinder and Drew McIntyre feud. So, Money Mike, I'm gonna ask you first. Do you agree my opinion about it, or do you see things different?
I mean, I have to see it to see how it goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems that NXT UK is doing okay. They're doing all right. Building talent there, and I know that if I was the boss at WWE, I would want someone that I know can, be dependable to be the face of the brand. And Jinder Mahal, former WWE champion, fits that to a T because, he's going to grab that market. He's going to pull in people. And if I'm Jinder, if I'm in that spot, I would see the positives here. And, they're going to build this whole thing around me. I'll be the star of the show. Why not, right? Mm-hmm. What I hope for is that, he's getting a good amount of cheese for that, you know, because it's relocating to another continent. I believe he's originally Canadian, so
Yes.
you know he's moving to an entirely different side of the world, and you know
during quarantine,
during quarantine.
which is
So I'm hoping
begin with.
that they're giving him the big bucks, you know, the proverbial truckload of money parked right outside of his house.
They better be
Yeah.
backing that Brinks truck up right to his bedroom.
Yeah, but as of right now, though, like all the tapings will be happening at Capitol Center. The tapings, as they're transitioning to moving all the talent to India, to get them to go ahead and, you know, have a live crowd. But as of right now, because of, you know, the pandemic, they're going to be recording at the Capitol Center, just like how main event. Actually, no, main event's recorded main roster. The 205 is recorded at the Capitol Center. So that's for right now. It's just knowing to see how the viewers is going to take it in India, and they're going to. I think that's where it develops there, to see how the viewership are and how will they take it, and where it, and we'll see where it goes from there. How you said for gender, and especially now, if let's say by mid-month, if the pandemic's over, they allowed. Okay, fine. They're finally going to move everybody to India. Then gender better be like, I need to see my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure. So, I mean, we have to wait and see on that. Now, I just want to move on very quickly on this one as well. So, we have two former WWE divas who are going to be Hall of Famers. We're at a podcast and called Ashley's Grams Podcast. So, the Bella Twins. They were the podcast, and they were mentioned. They were brought up upon. I want to do creative. I want to join creative team. Obviously, Bree was mentioning about her husband Daniel Bryan, because he's in the part of the creative team working alongside with Vince for the SmackDown writing team. And Bree and Nikki like, we want to be in the creative team for the women's. See what we can do for the women's, division roster. What's up with that? No. No. Delete. No disrespect to them at all. No.
I don't have a reason to say no. Anything has to be better than what's happening right now.
In the women's division for the main roster?
For any division, there's not a lot of greatness in the women's division either right now. I mean, we had the Sasha Banks-Bayley feud. That's technically over.
Yes.
You have this weird tag team between Charlotte and Asuka, where now Ric Flair, his little botch mania turned into an actual storyline, which I think is kind of cool. But there's really, I mean, they broke up the Iconics. It just, yeah. I mean, I'll take anything right now. Like, I just want something. I want to know what can happen. Like,
We all walk out in fish outfits.
right? It's so not great right now that I'm not opposed to anything new. Let's just give him a shot. What's the worst that's going to happen? It goes back to
Okay.
Fish outfits. I just said.
Talk to me, Money Mike.
Okay. I'm all for opportunity. I'm all for giving people chances. Yes, that is true. But the thing here is, the Bellas are very busy. They have a lot of things going on. And when you have a lot of things on your plates, are you going to give it your 100%? Could they do it? Okay, maybe, right? We don't know until it happens, actually, right? But I would rather have someone that is dedicated just to that, and that has experience and that knows what to do here. Not just some writer from Hollywood, but someone in the wrestling business that could actually just dedicate themselves full time to being a writer. And I don't know, I feel like the Bellas are busy with their shows, and they're gonna write themselves into it. And
I would not be into that. Yeah, that's a point to be made.
I would not mind to be writing for the women's division at all. Mike could do it. Mike could do it. You could do it. We could do it. Vinny Pops, Brucey, call us.
we're available.
We're available.
Call us instead.
Yeah, we could do it 24/7,
There you go.
man. Just show up the truck and show it up and then show that mula mula mula. Here comes
Even if it's just a sedan with money, I don't mind.
yeah,
Bring that.
very true, very true. All right, so now the last one of the last topic of pro wrestling news, ladies and gentlemen, is we have Hard to Kill coming up tomorrow night. So make sure you tune in on that. And Impact announced their new announcing team. So it's no longer no longer Josh Matthews and Madison Rain. Josh Matthews has been promoted to be more overlooked in the production side of the area, to look more on the, on the behind the scenes area. Madison Rain, question mark, we do not know. But we will
I think we do. Hold on. I know. Hold on.
I'm not sure if she's going to be joining alongside with Josh Matthews being back, behind the scenes.
I think 2 people were announced: Matt Stryker and D'Lo Brown.
Well, yeah,
That's what it was. Yeah, it was those two.
I was like, what? Huh? Is it 2017 or 11? I mean, yeah. Anyways, yeah. I was definitely like,
You're dealing with the real thing.
Yeah.
I was going to mention that. I was going to say that the new announced team was Matt Stryker and D'Lo Brown. So I'm congratulations to Matt Stryker, because he's not a bad commentator. He's did a great job for Lucha Underground. I love this work.
D'Lo giving us the lowdown.
Done WWE before. I mean, he's not a bad commentator. He's really good. D'Lo, I need to see how he does. So
He gives us the lowdown.
Yeah, I'm going to give you the lowdown on this match right here, ladies and gentlemen.
The lowdown.
But yeah, don't forget to see Hard to Kill, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to see the main event, the Elite versus Rich Swann and Miss Morrison and Machine Guns. Do not forget that we also have the Knockouts Tag Team Champions. The finals, we will see Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steele versus Havoc and Nevia. So I'm looking forward. We'll be crowned the Impact, Women's Tag Team Champions. And we also have other matches. We have Taya Valkyrie versus Deonna Purrazzo for the Impact Women's Championship. We also have the X Division Championship in a triple threat match, which is Manic, Rohit Raju, and Chris Bay fighting for that, championship belt. We have Old School Rules match, which is, Rhino, Tommy Dreamer, Cousin Jake, versus Eric Young and, Diener and Dory Jr. So we will have to wait to see those upcoming matches. And also Eddie Edwards, Sami Callihan. So make sure you watch that match as well. One more thing I want to go ahead and say right quick before we go to commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. I want to go ahead and congratulate Dustin Starr and Maria Starr. I want to go ahead and congratulate them.
Happy birthday, Maria. Today's your birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Maria.
But also wanted to go ahead and congratulate them as Championship from Memphis is back in action. They will be live in action on February the 14th. So every pro wrestling fan that is out there in the city of Memphis watching this, purchase your tickets now. The link will be right below the descriptions. The outdoor back seat is already sold out, but there's still front seats available. So make sure you purchase your tickets. Click on the link below for more ticket and purchase information. It's selling out like hotcakes, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure Memphis Wrestling is back. So make sure you purchase your tickets and watch it. And don't forget, catch them Saturday every noon Central Time, and catch them here on your YouTube channel and other social media platforms. And we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, as we come back. Well, this is the end of part 1. When you tune into part 2, you will see part 2. We'll discuss about WWE, NXT, and future storylines we've been seeing as of late on Raw and SmackDown. And our one and only here, the CK1 Chris Kennedy, he will be leaving us. He will not be joining us in part 2, but he will go ahead. He has other business to attend to. So
I got to give the people what they actually want, which is some dinner delivered right to their doorstep.
And there you have it.
Press.
Oh, you miss him.
You're the Michael Nakazawa to my Kenny.
Oh my God, I knew it. But yes,
Are we the Golden Lovers Part 2? Is that what we are?
No, we're like the no.
You guys are the Golden Lovers.
Chuck and Billy?
You are
they brought that back for Santino Morales. Santino.
All right.
But yes,
you guys, the Friday after this, the 15th or whatever. I don't know dates, so just stay tuned, keep watching, and yeah.
So we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, as we're gonna take a commercial break. So watch our special sponsors. We'll be right back.
Hi, I am the infamous Catalina Waters, and you need to come down to the Wrestling Guys store for all your wrestling merchandise needs. We have action figures, we have t-shirts, we have the Ceiling of Fame. You gotta see it for yourself. Come down here.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Championship Wrestling official YouTube channel. I'm Maria.
And I'm Dustin. Thanks for joining us. We have so much great wrestling action just for you.
Click the playlist tab and you'll find superstar playlists from many of your favorite wrestlers like Heather Monroe, Danny Limelight, Tyler Rust, and so many more.
And don't forget about our feature matches playlist that's updated each week with brand new matches and some of your favorites from the history of the United Wrestling Network.
Plus, check out our YouTube exclusives like our year-end review featuring the best matches and wildest moments of 2020.
And of course, our Championship Wrestling Award show featuring the very best of 2020.
And if that's not enough, tune in to Championship Wrestling Podcast every Monday at noon and a brand new episode of Championship Wrestling every Saturday at noon.
It's all right here on our official YouTube channel. And don't forget, take that subscribe button to Slap City. Oh yeah!
Memphis Wrestling is back, featuring Alan Steele, Derek King, The Posse, Superstar Bill Dundee, King Cobra, and more. Championship Wrestling from Memphis.